Hello, dear students. Bonjour, chers étudiants. French lessons video series. These are my French lesson video series. This one is on the imparfait, how to say the imparfait, past tense. General consideration. Use this tense in your first sentence to express that one was sick, absent, or out. Also use this tense for actions that used to take place in the past as a habit or routine and are either finished or continue the present. Okay, on this page we're going to see two columns. The first column will be in French, the equivalent translation on the other column, and the other column in English. So on the right hand side of my screen I have the English version. On the left hand side I have the French version. So try to follow along. As I speak, indeed I may be adding words or removing words, but what is written is for you to come back to and review the written material as well as the audio part. So, doing the imperfect of the verb to be, l'imparfait du verbe être, I'm going to start with a short story and you will see how the verbs are ending, and these endings will be the same for every verb that will be using this tense of l'imparfait. Stories are usually told in the past. They are relating facts in the past. When those facts are a state, a status, l'imparfait is used. When they are a habit or routine, l'imparfait comes in. Indeed, other past tense will come in the sentence, but at least one of them will be using l'imparfait, introducing shorter actions that may be using the passé composé, which we'll see later on. Now, hear the story. Une histoire au passé, bien sûr. A story in the past, of course. Mademoiselle Adèle Georgette était très gentille avec tout le monde. Miss Adèle Georgette was very nice to everyone. Elle disait toujours bonjour à tous le matin. She always said good morning to all in the morning. Notice the use of toujours, meaning always, stressing a habit and a routine. So you can't go wrong here. If a quiz question comes in that says, which tense should I use to express the routine in the past, a habit in the past, do not hesitate. The answer here is l'imparfait. L'imparfait, that's the tense that we'll be using in French to express a routine, a habit that used to take place in the past. It may continue in the future, it may be cancelled, but we're looking at its portion, its evidence in the past. Elle prenait toujours les transports en commun. She always took public transportation. In French, public transportation are not translated transport public. They are translated les transports en commun. You may be able to see the literal translation, but expect more often to see the transport en commun, meaning public transportation. Elle prenait d'abord un bus à Vitry, de Vitry à Paris. She first took a bus from Vitry to Paris. Elle prenait d'abord, first, d'abord, un bus de Vitry à Paris. She first took a bus from Vitry to Paris. Remarquez l'imparfait des verbes. Dire. Je disais, tu disais, il disait, nous disions, vous disiez, il disait, tu prenais, il prenait. Nous prenions, vous preniez, il prenait. Notice the ending of the imperfect of two verbs here. Dire, which is one verb, and prendre, which is another. In the sentence 7, dire is a verb I'm looking at, meaning to say. Je disais. I said, or I used to say. Tu disais. You said, or you used to say. Il disait. He said, or he used to say. Nous disions. We said, or we used to say. Vous disiez. You said, or you used to say. Il disait. They said, or they used to say. The endings for any verb à l'imparfait will be for je, IAS, tu, IAS, okay, let's start. The ending for any verb at the imparfait will be for je, AIS, for tu, AIS, for il, AIT, for nous, IONS, for vous, IEZ, for il, AIENT. What I mean by that is that when looking at words in your test, try to look at the ending of the word. Try to recognize those endings and see if the story is in the past or not. If the story is in the past, then you're definitely dealing with l'imparfait of that. Also, words may be ending like that, but it could be for other reasons. Most of the time, when they are verbs, when those words are verbs, they are for l'imparfait. The second verb I'm considering here in sentence 9, 8, is prendre, which is not actually spelled here, but it spells P-R-E-N-D-R-E at the end, prendre, to take. Je prenais, tu prenais, il prenait, nous prenions. Vous preniez, il prenait. Those endings are the same as in dire, disait, 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 disions, disiez, disait. Okay? Now, sentence 9 is introducing l'imparfait du verbe être. Here is the imperfect form of the verb to be. J'étais, I was. Tu étais, you were. Il était, we were. Nous étions, we were. I think I did something wrong. J'étais, I was. Tu étais, you were. Il était, he was. Nous étions, we were. Vous étiez, you were. Ils étaient, they were. Maintenant, nous allons ajouter le participe passif. Now we're going to add the past participle. Another verb will come here to complete the verb to be. I was. I was what? I was done. I was gone. I was asleep. I was that you can imagine yourself. Okay, I was what? So we're going to have to add another verb, another word that will describe further what was or what were. When that word that's coming to complete what was is a verb, grammatical rules require that the form of the verb changes to the past participle form. Past participle form. The past participle form is used for a verb, not for anything else, that plays the role of an adjective that is completing a description of a verb coming before it, usually the verb to be or the verb to have. Those two are the ones that will use past participle forms. In French, past participles are called participe, participe passé, participe passé. Passé is past and participle is participe. There is an inversion. Okay? So there is inversion from what comes first and what comes last. We're going to see that, how that works. J'étais, I was what? Say I was gone, for instance. So we're going to use the verb to go to complete or describe the verb to be in the past. When the form of the verb to go that we're going to use according to grammatical rules is the past participle of to go, which is gone. In English, gone does not change. It stays gone for I, for you, for he, for we, for you, for they. Gone does not change. We call it invariant. Gone is invariant. The past participle in English is invariant. In French, it varies. The past participle, called the participe passé, in French varies because it's a description, to be a full description of what was, or what I was, or what he was. To be a full description, one must describe whether it was a female that was, a male that was, whether we were dealing with one person or we were dealing with a group of people. A group starts with two persons. In a group, let's go further down to line number 23 to state a rule here, une règle, a rule. If in a group of two or more people, one of the members of the group is a male, the past participle will always carry the male identification, the male description. We're describing things, so we want to be as precise as possible. When we use gone to be invariant, we don't actually know who was gone. When I say I was gone, and I'm saying this in a video where you don't see my face, you only hear my voice, as this course is going, one wonders whether it's a girl or it's a male, it's a boy. That uncertainty in describing what was has been lifted in French with the fact that the past participle varies. It changes to signal that it's a girl, was, it's more than one person who was, So if it's a girl, one girl, E at the end for the past participle. E will be added to the end. If it's a group of people in which one male is present, we're adding S at the end. If it's a group of people where only girls are present, we're adding the description for girl, the E, and then the description for the group, the S. So the E and the S. We call this in grammatical rules gender and number. Gender stands for male or female. Number stands for the number of people in a group. Whether we're talking about one person, singular, or plural, many people. So these rules here will apply all over. Trying to remember them as I'm saying, recording this video, not everything is written, and this part is only audio, what I just said. You won't find it, it's just explaining the written text. The full explanation of the written text is longer than the test itself, so bear with me. J'étais parti, into parentheses, entre parenthèses, féminin. Féminin in English is translating feminine. J'étais parti. When you see E at the end, the narrator wants you to know that it's a girl. Je, meaning I, that I there who's speaking, is a girl. So E has been added to the end of parti. The past participle of parti is actually P-A-R-T-I. P-A-R-T-I is a past participle of parti, equivalent to gone, G-O-N-E in English. And that will change, since it varies, it will change and carry an extra E at the end to signal a description of the feminine. It will vary to add an S to signal an increase in number. We're dealing with a group of people. S here, S there. Wherever you see S, a group of people, if E is before the S, that group is a female only group. If the group has S in it, there is at least one male in there. We don't know exactly how many males are in the group, how many females are in the group. We couldn't be that precise anymore to describe, to keep changing the form of the past participle, but we know for sure there's at least one male in that group. If the participle ends with ES, we know for sure there's no male in this group, only females. So I think I've explained enough the why the past participle varies. Why it's just not parti, I, just like it's gone everywhere. Because here they're taking special care to describe exactly what they see with a female and the number of people also. Ok, I'm gonna read it now. J'étais parti, tu étais parti, il était parti, nous étions partis, vous étiez partis, ils étaient partis. I was gone, you were gone, he was gone, she was gone, we were gone, you were gone, they were gone. Examples with other verbs. Exemple avec d'autres verbes. The verb here is sortir, to go out. Sortir, the verb sortir, to go out. Notice it ends like partir. Partir, it ends with IR. and sortir end with IR. So partir was in this on the first page here. There, partir, j'étais parti here. He ends. Actually, the verb is not spelled out, and that was an omission. It was supposed to be spelled out first. Partir, so we know what we're dealing with. P-R-T-I-R. So here, sortir, gone out. Okay? Gone out. What's the difference between partir and sortir? One is to go. I was gone on the previous page. Here, sorti. I was gone out. Sorti. Okay, I was gone out. It's not the same as I was gone. Okay, I was gone out. Laurine était sortie. Maintenant, elle est de retour. Laurine was gone out. Now she is back. When I say I was gone, when I say j'étais parti, we don't know where. When I say I was gone out, we kind of think we know a lot more. I was just out, hanging out. Could be in a park, could be with friends. There's something different between gone out and just to be gone. So, Laurine était sortie, maintenant elle est de retour. Laurine was gone out, now she's back. Jean était sorti, maintenant il est rentré. John, that's the translation for Jean in English. Now he is back. John was out, now he's back. Look at the false friends here, which you will encounter a lot in English and in French. When you key on the internet and you key on the faux amis, so that's the remark here. Faux amis on line 9 and 10, line 9 to 11 explain the concept of faux amis. Faux amis, which are false friends, translated in English, literal translation in English. When I was studying French, we call that faux amis. That's what the grammatical word is referring to. Now, Jean spells like Jean in English. The spelling is exactly the same as Jean in English. The sounding is different. We call this one in English, in French, Jean actually doesn't stand for Jean. It stands for John. It stands for John. These are things you must know, and a rule is that you always double check the word. Do not assume you know. When you find a word for the first time, Google it to make sure you're not in error. Those errors are critical and extremely damaging because the whole meaning is off. If you think without Googling that Jane means Jane also in English, you may assign the responsibility, the benefit, or the blame or the punishment to Jean, but they're actually going to John. We're not talking about Jean who will get the benefit, or Jean who will get the blames and the punishment. We're actually pointing to John. The faux ami is a concept that is extremely damaging, and you must definitely master French and master English to make sure that you are not erring, because those the faux amis are very common, extremely common. So let's look at the next line. Line 6, fermé. Okay, first I'm pointing to the left-hand column in French, where on top you have the verb. Go back to line 2. The verb is right there. And the past participle will be on the right-hand side of the left column. So, sortir is a verb. On the left-hand side of this left column, sortir is a verb. Is corresponding past participle, participe passé in French is sorti. But then it will vary. If it's a girl, you will add an E. If it's plural, you will add an S. If it's a girl plural, you will add ES. So that's what that column means. So we're going to line 6 and we see fermé, meaning to close. The verb to close. The verb to close, fermé. Its past participle form is fermé, E accent aigu, but then you will add an E at the end, E, or S, or ES, ES. Okay. Le magasin était fermé, maintenant il est ouvert. The store was closed, now it is open. Les boutiques étaient fermées, line 8. Les boutiques étaient fermées pendant l'orage. Maintenant que l'orage est passé, elles sont ouvertes de nouveau. The stores were closed during the storm. Now that the storm is gone, or has passed, they are open again. De nouveau equals a new or again. Look here, we cannot do French without encountering a false friend, a faux ami. This is extremely damaging. You must learn this. Another word here, magazine. I don't know why those things are like that, but that's the way the language has taken form. That's the way the language is set up right now. Le magasin. Somebody coming from the English-speaking world will think, I know this. They mean magazine. Magazine. Le magasin. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There is no connection between a magazine and a store. Those two are extremely different words. The store is a physical location, like a building, like an enclosed place with walls and a roof. The magazine refers to a form of newspaper that has many pages bound together with pictures and is actually closer to newspapers brochure than a store where people can buy food and so forth. Le magasin could be for buying food or clothes. But when we're dealing with les boutiques, line 8, les boutiques, these places are for clothes and shoes and bags. They are special stores for other things than food or So they're usually referring to clothing and accessories and shoes and stuff. That's what boutique means. That's the difference between boutique and magasin within the French language itself. Okay? So, stores, So be very careful. In order to avoid this faux amis, the first time you see a word, Google that word to make sure you know. The contest will also be guiding you, and it should trigger the fact that magazine is actually a store rather than a brochure. Okay, so the content, you have to Google that, and you have to study those things as you Google them by heart, as you encounter them. That's how you study languages. You must study them by heart with precision, because you want to avoid error, and those errors are very damaging. You cannot say I'm sorry there when you assign responsibility and send Jean to jail, when actually it wasn't Jean you were talking about. You were talking about John. So it's extremely important that you be as precise as possible. Only one way to check the dictionary, check Google. Quand j'étais en France, line 12, when I was in France, il y a longtemps, les grands magasins que je fréquentais étaient le Printemps et les Galeries Lafayette. Line 12, I'm going to read again. Quand j'étais en France, il y a longtemps, les grands magasins que je fréquentais étaient le Printemps et les Galeries Lafayette. When I was in France, long ago, the malls that I used to visit were le Printemps et les Galeries Lafayette. Les grands magasins here means literal translation, big stores. However, big stores in the English word are known as malls. They are the malls, like Macy's, Bloomingdale's. So, Le Printemps and Galeries Lafayette, the Galeries Lafayette are the equivalent malls of Macy's and Bloomingdale's over here. So also be careful that the literal translation actually is not accurate, because languages have their own ways of saying things. The idea is indeed, in one language you may have the full description, like Grand Magasin, it's a full description of the stores. You're dealing with big stores, mega stores. Actually, the translation is coming now these days. I've encountered mega stores, Aristides have mega stores. So that's the closest translation of Grand Magasin, big stores. But usually they have been referred to malls. They're always malls. The Manhattan Mall is there. It was constructed very recently, many years ago, maybe 10 or 15 years ago. It's not something that has been here 100 years, like Macy's and stuff. So, and in the modern construction of that Manhattan Mall, they wanted it to be mall and be known as a mall. Okay. They could have called it a mega store, but it's actually not a mega store. It's a mall where you have many tiny stores inside Macy's and Bloomingdale's, like Le Printemps and the Galeries Lafayette, were those kind of malls where you didn't have clear separations of many businesses. This was one business, Macy's or Bloomingdale business, but you do have stands or floors or sections for specific designers, specific stores, and specific stuff like that, specific merchants. But a Manhattan Mall is much different. You actually have physical stores very distinct from each other, with their storefronts within the mall. Okay, so, but they're all malls. So, let's continue. Line 30, nous étions sortis, Laurine et moi. We were gone out, Laurine and I. Don't forget, sortir means to go out. Okay, we were out shopping, we were out dining, all those things. We were gone out. Okay, that's the difference between Laurine and I were gone, parti, but we don't know actually where. So, vous étiez parti très loin. That was line 14. Line 14, you were gone very far. Again, I'm bringing close to each other. Parti and sorti, line 13 and partir. I want you to study those two words together, those two verbs together. They're very close together in meaning, but they do exist. We do have two words there, meaning two meanings. People have noticed or created differences between sortir and partir, and they want two different words there, so that we do have two different meanings there. Just like go to go and to go out. Those things are practice. So you have to learn the practice and what it means. Now, in line 13, nous étions sortis. I see ES at the end. I have to put into parentheses two names there. I mean, two persons, Laurine and I. Laurine is a female, and moi, who's speaking, is a female. So ES, E for female is there, S for plural. More than one female is concerned here, was gone out. So ES comes in. Vous étiez parti très loin. Again, here, S only, and there is no E. I'm assuming that everybody here in this group, there's at least one male. It could be that everybody is a male, but if there's only one male, we default everything to the masculine form of parti. There's not going to be any E at the masculine, whether in the singular form or plural form. Okay? No E is added. It's going to be IS or I for singular, S for more than one person. Se coucher, line 15, to go to bed. Okay? Ils étaient couchés, line 16, à 21h, 22h. Ils étaient couchés à 22h. Line 16, they were gone to bed at 10 p.m. Okay? Notice that in French, the clock continues from 1 a.m. to from 1 heure to 24 heures. It's a 24 hours clock. In some places in the English world, it's 12 hours clock with AM part and 12 hours in the AM, 12 hours in the PM. You gotta be accustomed to this. You gotta be accustomed to this and stay the 24 hours thing. So if it's gonna go up to 24, it doesn't stop and start over at 12. You cannot say 1 p.m. You will have to say 13 hours. 13 heures, 13 heures, 22 heures in this case. Ils étaient couchés à 22 heures. They were gone to bed at 10 p.m. Endormi. Endormi. So you have to see the past participle forms there. Couché, lines 15. That's the past participle form to which you will add E, S, or ES, depending on the description. Dormir, line 17. The past participle form is endormi, in which you will add E, S, or ES, depending on the description. Line 18. La ville était endormie à minuit. Line 18, to the right hand side, the right column. The town was asleep at midnight. Minuit is translated midnight. Minuit. Now, minuit in French will be 24 heures. Because we saw that 10 p.m. is actually 22 heures. So 2 hours later at midnight, it will be 24 heures. But we call that minuit. Midnight will be 12 p.m. 12 a.m. So we call that midnight. Line 20, line 19. Enregistrer. That's a verb meaning to record. Line 19 on the right column, to record. The past participle form of this verb enregistrer is enregistré, and that is one of that. To which you will add E or S or ES depending on the description. The past participle in English of to record is recorded. It's invariant, regardless of who is speaking. Is it a female, one female, two females, or only males? So, ma dernière leçon, line 20, ma dernière leçon enregistrée pour vous était plus courte, je pense. Line 20, right, ma leçon, my lesson recorded for you was shorter, I think. Line 21, left column, enregistré, placé après un nom, leçon, est un adjectif et non pas un participe passé. Cependant, la forme du participe passé du verbe enregistrer est utilisée. Recorded, placed after a noun, lesson, is an adjective, not a past participle. However, the past participle form of the verb to record is used. Let's go back to line 20. What that means. Ma dernière leçon. Here there is an inversion which the computer has done, because I cannot do this inversion here. Only the computer could do that. Whenever it's automatically save the text, I get a text which I never could type. Okay? I could not conceive it, hence I could not type it. But the computer, whenever the computer got 20 years or plus of computer use, whenever the computer set itself in mode of updating automatically, it replaces your version with its own version, meaning somebody else is editing as I do it. It's not going to stop me from producing videos, but I want you to know it. You're going to read line 20, ma dernière leçon, enregistrée pour vous, était plus courte, je pense. My lesson recorded for you shorter, I think. Okay, so what we mean is enregistré here. We will see this. Placed after a noun lesson is not a verb. It's not a past participle. It's an adjective. That's the grammatical rule. The grammatical rule calls any descriptive word placed after a noun an adjective. An adjective is a word that describes another word. Okay? In English, most of the time, or some of the time, the adjectives are placed before the noun. For instance, the adjective pink, pink is an adjective when it describes another noun, meaning the book. We will not say the book pink. In English, we'll say the pink book. In French, le livre rose. The adjective will always come after the noun, which is describing. In English, most of the time it comes before. However, if it's a past participle, it may come after the noun, just like my lesson recorded for you or shorter, I think. Okay, so it may come after. Most of the time, expected to come before the noun. In English, in French, always. 99% of the case, always after the noun. The noun first, then its description comes after. So that's enough for this lesson here. You may have to go back to it many times to get the lesson. Indeed, when studying the material for the first time, write it for yourself. Rewrite the whole test for yourself as you write it. Say it in your head. That will help you memorize it. That's how we learn to study at lower classes, elementary school. What does that mean? The way people study, kids study in elementary school. That means that they've learned a method of studying new things. But what does it mean? They learn the right way of doing things. In this case, they've learned the right way to study anything. That should last them for a lifetime. Every time they have to study, or you have to study, do not think you're no longer in elementary school, but think rather that all the methods, the fundamentals, the basics you learned were the right way of doing things, and those right ways should continue. I'm going to give you another advice, and I hope you'll take it and use it. Kids in grammar school, elementary school, and at lower level of education learn to drink milk. Take my advice on it. As they drank milk, they grew taller and stronger. Unfortunately, society has told people that at age 21, they're no longer kids, they could smoke and drink. Take my advice, behave as a kid, always. If you behave as a kid always, chances are you'll never age. You'll never decompose and degrade. You will keep building yourself stronger, Because when people at age 21 start adding habits of older people, what we notice is that they actually degenerating. They're going down on the other side instead of continuing pumping nutrients in their bodies and making sure those nutrients do not break down when alcohol or smoke or any other things which adults are used to take. All the things that we learned as kids were the right way to live on earth. That's the way I see it. That's the way actually one who has been caught doing things that adults do could reverse the pattern of adult progression on earth. That pattern is indeed starting age 21, around age 24, sometimes age 30, people are going down the drain. They've reached their maximum capacity and they're now degenerating. But if they keep the calcium up from the milk, vitamin A and D, they will not break down as easily. They will just keep doing the right thing. The right thing. But if they stop doing the right thing, they're gonna go the other way. They're gonna shut the other way. Where everything is wrong, of course. Everything being wrong. Aging is wrong. And death is wrong. All those methods are to be used. We call that the basics and the fundamentals, the foundations. Gotta tell you another thing. An example of fundamentals and foundations is that people have learned to build houses starting from their foundations. Like building a pyramid, starting from the base and going all the way up. Never doing the reverse. That's what he's still doing. And they're doing it even better today. But no matter how better, they always start with the foundations, with the basics. That's where things are. That's where the strength comes from, the basics and the foundations. So go on and write these tests as you learn in grammar school 10 times. By the time before you reach the 10 times of writing the test, those 2 tiny pages, you would have known them by heart, and this lesson that you took one day to write down 10 times will last you for a lifetime. If you never do that, it will never last you for a lifetime. I'm talking to the best student and the dear student and the best student. Later on, we're going to see how the concept was applied to build computers that always run basics and fundamentals. To do anything they have to do, never complaining. If you ask the computer to do 10 times a thing, it will do it 10 times. Never being false, always being accurate. I gotta tell you this, do study it like that. Do not study any other way. If somebody tells you to do the other way around, never do that. I'm gonna show you Americans who aced it, the champions when I was younger, how they're advertising the method which actually they taught me and which I'm teaching you. They taught me this in France, and I have to teach you the same thing. False friend will teach you the method, but believe me, they'll never get on TV. Today, even wrong people get on TV, so it's no longer a reference. But back then, everything was censored, and private channels never existed. Only the best showed up on TV, and those are the ones I want you to learn from in my next videos whenever I get time to put them together. This one video was quite long, but Go on, write those 2 pages 10 times before you finish. By the time you feel comfortable writing them by memory, without looking at the pages, without going and disputing, don't do anything, just do it mechanically, that will last you for a lifetime. A lifetime. That's how the human brain functions. It doesn't function otherwise. I got another lesson related to this one coming after. I hope I have the chance to record. Goodbye.